What's up? We're here. Leroy has this look of something on his face. I don't know.
I'm about to put in the chat what we're talking about.
Oh, fair enough. Welcome, folks who are welcome to this channel. This is the We Trying channel, Nerd by Nature Productions. That's Leroy giving you guys the lowdown on what we're talking about. I'm Michael. We got an interesting topic based on what the chat wanted, right? Based on chat votes.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So I'm on the channel right now, and I put up four questions. I said this channel is as much as ours as it is yours, so we wanted to run the next few topics by you to see you wanted us to talk about. Don't see your topic, add it in the comments. So I put discussing the future of Star Wars. Are box office numbers the best metric? Are prequel games here to stay? Why do you collect? As it stands right now, discussing the future of Star Wars got 37%. Box office metric got 26%. Prequel games 5, and why do you collect 32? We're not going to do Star Wars because we're going to wait until Acolyte is done. When Acolyte is done, we'll tackle Star Wars because we'll do a review, and then we'll tackle where does Star Wars go from here and what does Star Wars mean? Because I think there's a lot of chatter about Star Wars and Acolyte, some clickbaity, some downright racist and homophobic, and some just not genuine. So Michael's going to catch up on Acolyte this weekend. I think there's one episode left to air, the finale, and then we'll talk about it. And so the next biggest one was why do you collect? And I thought that was a very interesting one based on this trailer I put in the chat called The Hobby. During the pandemic, collecting blew up, whether it was trading cards, people getting back into Pokemon, sports cards, comics, action figures, whatever you collect. And the only reason I mentioned those is because that's what I noticed. There were other things people got into, baking, sourdough, starters. What was some of the stuff that you got into during the pandemic?
Being more physically active,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember
honestly. Yeah.
you decided tell the people what you did every day, what you would do.
Oh, just walk 4 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, small thing, but it was just nice to be out because I definitely wasn't doing it before. I definitely slowed down when the pandemic, became regular. I've started to back up though, which has been good. But yeah, for me, it was just getting out and being more physical, which was because it's so easy to sit in my house. My job is very sedentary, where I sit at a desk all day,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely carry that home a lot when I'm playing video games. So it was good to just be out now. It's a little bit harder now trying to find the time, but it's just me cutting out other stuff so I can get that walk in before I go drive, the hour and change to work or whatever. But yeah,
Okay. So
what'd
yeah,
you
so
do?
that I got back into collecting.
Oh,
Like I'm not like I got if you remember we were tasked with um being essential workers. So for a while you didn't have to come in, but I did because physically I couldn't do my job without being in the building. I did find out though other stations were able to manage that, where they were able to just open a laptop and direct from home. Somehow we weren't able to do it. Uh,
were those bigger stations or smaller stations?
WIS figured it out.
I would argue that they
I
generate more. Nothing. Never mind.
Nope, nope. And here's let me tell you how good the connection was for the person to direct from home. An employee left the state and moved to California, and they did not know until tax time when he filed his taxes, and they realized, wait a minute, something weird came up. And he was like, "Yeah, I moved pretty much 3 months into the pandemic. I left." Yeah. So find that out. But no, I got back into collecting. Um, uh, I was always into collecting, whether it
Hmm.
was, I really was into comics, but I got back into action figure collecting. And that was like a very big thing for me. Um, so a little housekeeping before we start. I didn't get a chance to post it. This is the shirt that I said that looked like uh, My wife says it's kiwis. What did I say it looked like?
I don't remember.
I think it was something to do with it looked like a cucumber.
I feel like you said it was something sexual.
I did say it was, I did believe it was something. I believe I said it was look a cucumber ejaculated all over you. Thank you, Kim for Chicago. I thought it was cucumbers. I wasn't sure how now. So, uh, so Katie dared me to wear the shirt on the stream, and I
It's green for Boston. Perfect.
yeah. I said, no, the fuck I won't. And I said, you should have bet that because we bet stuff all the time. And so she was like, what do you want to bet? I said, it's up to you. I said, I'm not wearing it unless you win something. So I'm going to put it to y'all. There are 3 games I'm going to post: Boggle, Scrabble, or Rummy. You pick which game we play. And if she wins, I'll wear the shirt.
You realize now that you need to stream that game, right? Like that's content. That's you need to figure out a way to stream that game.
Nah.
I mean, people
No,
would watch that, or you don't want to get
nah.
embarrassed.
No comment.
Okay,
Because
cool.
because I'm gonna tell you right now, depending on the game, it could go very well
Okay,
for me.
okay,
Depending on if I win, it could go very badly for her.
okay.
Breck, hold up. I'm gonna post. So basically, uh it's Boggle, Scrabble, or Rummy, and I'll post the results. Like I'll post the score, so the proof. But I'll put it up so you guys can decide which one you want us to play, and we'll play tonight. I post it, and then on the next stream, I'll wear the shirt if she wins. Now, if she doesn't, I'm buying some more shit.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Games need to be. Yep. K gets it. K they need to be streaming to ensure impartiality of the outcome.
Here's the thing. Y'all know
Also,
me.
y'all know
What?
Leroy. Also, y'all don't know Katie. Katie will make sure it's impartial.
That's what I'm saying. Like it'll
If
be
she wins,
impartial.
we will know.
Because here's the thing. 2 of these games she's very good at. One of these games is a tie sometimes, but I win that hands down. I didn't put the one that I dominate on just to give her a fair. Because like if I'd have put Uno in there, there's no way I was wearing that shirt. She has never beat me in Uno. There's
Fantastic.
one of these games I've only beat her once. And this is why I said we can't stream it, because if I win, she will toss the board. She's done it before.
People want to see that. You realize you're saying stuff that is like clickbait.
Yeah, but we're not a
You
clickbait channel.
I mean, sure, but I
Anyway,
also feel
so
like clickbait can be lies. That is like true seeing her toss the board. But go ahead.
oh, yeah, she's tossed the board before. Um, so the trailer that I put in is called The Hobby.
Hmm.
Basically, here's the summary. Follows longtime collectors and a new generation of buyers from the trading card industry, diving deep into the real-time trading card fever as the hobby goes nuclear. So basically, this started with, I don't know if you guys remember, Pokemon cards were big during the pandemic. People getting back into Pokemon, and a lot of it had to do with some influencers getting back into Pokemon or highlighting Pokemon, sports
Logan
card
Paul.
memorabilia. Logan Paul, which did they ever figure out whether that card was fake or not?
I don't know. I mean,
Because that
he
was the
definitely even after that those claims happened, he was still wrestling. What he was still wearing it at
yeah.
wrestling matches.
Hmm.
So I assumed it was
Yeah.
real. But
Well,
yeah,
the thing because that was the question whether or not it's real, because there were some accusations that it was fake, like he got scammed, and I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't go back and investigate, but go ahead.
I was gonna say real or fake. He definitely paid that real money. So either
Oh
way,
yeah,
it was valued to him at that much. So
and here's the thing, and that brings up a good point. A lot of people look at the money that you pay for collecting or why you collect, and especially when it comes to action figures. So there are action figures that are from um, legitimate companies like Hasbro, Bandai, uh, those, and then you can also go online to like other sites like Timu and Alibaba and get fake action figures that may be out of reach as far as like the price wise. So, perfect example is this is the brand new Deadpool that just came out recently for the movie. This is a Deadpool that was part of a two pack with Ultrasonic, uh, Teenage Warhead. What is her name?
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Negasonic. Thank you. Negasonic Teenage Warhead. So this was the Deadpool that was in the two pack. So they released it singularly. It's been selling out. People have been buying it up. I just wanted a good Deadpool figure to go with my Punisher figure. Um, the reason why I bring it up is because you can go on some of these sites and find replicas or knockoffs, and some of the knockoffs are pretty good. I haven't bought one, um, but they're out there, and as long as it's what you want, who cares if it's fake? Now, there are people who do care. I'm just not one of them. Like
You
I,
seen have you seen the movie Dope?
yes,
There was a scene where there, I mean, like the guy was selling a fake bag, and it would like involve drugs and stuff. But and I can't remember the words. I'm gonna butcher the phrasing, but he was like, some people will believe it's real, some people will believe it's fake, but depending on how you spent the money is what it matters to you. So it was just
yeah.
interesting, kind of going to the same thing you're talking about.
Well, it goes back to the whole idea of like fake handbags and fake Jordans. The counterfeit, like and that's the whole big thing behind eBay and StockX, verifying that these aren't fake. So collecting has a huge collecting is a huge hobby. It just depends on what you collect. I wanted to get into why you collect because me knowing you kind of got me back into collecting action figures because I had gotten out. And as we started going to cons and as we started covering this stuff more, I got back in. And so I want you to talk a little bit about like why you collected and what you collect. And
Sure, sure. All right. So for me, collecting has just been things that resonated with me as a child.
Mhm.
Anybody who knows me from this channel or a previous channel know I'm a big fan of martial arts. Uh, Love martial arts movies a lot, but from all different types of genres. And that probably started from just watching the Ninja Turtles growing up as a kid, the old '90s cartoon,
The
and
one
seeing
with
stuff
the
like that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like they had
Yeah,
the anime opening. Okay,
yeah,
Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle
yeah. So
Power.
I mean, for that was always something big for me, and also in that same vein, when the original Power Rangers came here, like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I was in elementary school, and that was big for me too. And that
Mhm.
was again, I can look at it now and see how corny it is, but I would still watch it now because it was martial arts and I loved all that stuff. So for me, my two big things in collecting are Power Ranger stuff, usually Mighty Morphin Power Ranger stuff, and Ninja Turtle stuff.
Okay.
Leroy was smart, and I didn't think about this. I'm actually at my girlfriend's house, so I didn't think to bring any of those collectible stuff. I have some stuff here that she collects that I can talk about in a second.
Mhm.
But for me, why I collect is just it's just childhood memories of things that I like and things that are cool. Uh, Kate put a good comment in here saying um,
I'm going to go back to it. Is that the one where
she
she put in the Star Trek stuff?
well no, it's the most recent comment where she was saying she generally collects things because she likes them, not as, never as an investment. Because I'm with
Yeah,
her in
yeah,
that
yeah.
same thing. I think there are a few things that I have that probably are worth money, but I would never. I would. I highly doubt I would ever sell those because I have a lot of the
Uh,
uh, a
that's it.
while ago, 10 years ago or so, 10, 15 years ago, Hasbro would do a thing where they would release this limited edition Mighty Morphin Power Ranger something, whether it was
Mhm.
the Morpher or if it was the green dragon dagger or the white
I
saber
remember.
Saba sword.
So I remember the green dragon dagger because I worked at Seven Asai at the time, and I
Hmm.
remember that coming in, and I remember texting you about it, and told me like how you got it.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, tell people that story too, because I think
sure.
that the
To show how
collecting.
how much you care about fandom. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
So anyway, they did this for like every year they would release a different thing, and I think I pretty much got all of them up until Hasbro lost the license and somebody else picked it up, or somebody I can't remember who had it first. Because I think Hasbro has it now. Whoever had it before
yes.
was doing like these
Hasbro
limited
has it
edition
now.
things.
Hmm.
Yes, whoever did it before was doing these limited edition things, and at Comic Con, essentially, you essentially now they do it as a raffle system where you or before now, you would essentially wake up early in the morning and get into a collectible line and hope you could get a ticket, a
Yes,
numbered ticket, depending on whatever it was, maybe one of 100, maybe one of 200. Then you would get that ticket, and then you would come back later in the day and be able to buy your purchase. So the first time. I started collecting. Not the first time I went to Comic Con, but the first time I was really serious about getting this collectible. I think I spent the night outside of Comic Con, outside of Hall H. Um, I don't know, 13 hours or so before it opened. Essentially, if it had opened Friday morning, I was there
Mhm.
Thursday afternoon, waiting in line already to be for Friday morning. Met cool people, a lot of
Mhm.
fun. Did all that, got my stuff. I was able to get daggers and all that kind of stuff. And for me, it wasn't so much because there were people in line that were definitely trying to sell different collectibles. Somebody,
Mhm.
one thing, I don't know if this ever happened to you when you went to Comic Con, but I met a random person who was going to give me money to buy stuff because
Yes.
essentially at the booth they will only let you buy one at a time
Mhm.
as a person. So it'd be like, hey, I'm gonna give you this money if you can buy this thing for me. It's like, oh man, I can't because I'm buying it for myself. So
Yeah.
if you
So
can find
yeah.
somebody else,
That is a big thing. And then that. So I didn't get. I got asked while I was in line, but I
hmm
wasn't in that line. So like somebody came up and said, "Hey man, are you in such and such line? Because I need this." And I'm like, the line was so long that it looked like I was in that line. I was like, "Nah,
sure,
man, I'm in this line. There's only 6 people here.
yeah.
Like you're in the line that has 36 people in it. Like, nah, bro, I'm good." So yes. Uh, so
Did
we
that
I
answer your
put
question? I feel like I rambled. I don't know.
no, it did. It
Okay.
put it, but also my other question is, what is it about? What makes you about that particular item? So when you break it down to like, okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when you were at Comic Con, because you're missing,
Childhood nostalgia.
and so like it's the childhood nostalgia, but it's not just the ones that you saw when you were younger, because you've bought more modern stuff. And I want to say somebody wanted me to ask you, did you see the new? What comment was it? Give me a second. Um, I want to make sure I get to this comment because I forgot. I've been meaning to ask you. Low Life 74, LOL Life. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Low Life. Uh, ask
I mean,
Mike
it
since
looks
he's a
like
big.
it looks. I think that's low life, right?
I always see LOL as Low Life because that's one of my favorite songs from X Ambassadors, and there's another song from Future and The Weeknd called Low Life, and I love both of them, and I sing them all the time. But that's just me. Ask Michael since he's a big TMT fan. Has he seen the Joy Toy TMNT figures and what he thinks about them?
I
So
haven't.
okay, so
I can
I
already tell you
will
now
we'll get a picture of those, but also um,
because I can. I've also slowed down in the stuff I collect because as somebody else brought up, one of the issues with collecting things is it takes up physical space.
yes,
It does. So I've definitely slowed down in the stuff that I collect. LOL life. Low life equals LOL. Oh no, here's a question. Yeah, I've
yeah,
definitely slowed down in the stuff that I collect. So I haven't really
yes.
seen it, and part of the reason why I don't want to see it is because sometimes I know I have an impulsive behavior to buy
Oh
stuff.
no, it is Low Life. It is Low Life. I was right. I was right the first time.
Okay,
My bad. Yeah.
so
Um,
if I sometimes if I see something like, ooh, I got to buy it and click it. So I'm like, nope.
mhm,
Like right now, I'm debating whether or not I should buy the new Yakuza, the latest Yakuza game that came out January, because it's $35 right now. And I
mhm,
keep going back and forth, like I want it, I don't want it. It might be cheaper later. And again, it'll go to my growing pile of games that I haven't gotten to yet because I'm still trying to get through stuff.
mhm.
Um, so that's kind of where I am in terms of collecting things. So I haven't
Okay.
seen the TMNT thing. I'm sure I'd probably like it, and that's why I don't have it. And tell them the story about how you got me collecting a TMNT collectibles, and now I don't have. I don't even know which one I'm missing, but I have three out of the four turtles from the Good Smile Company
Yes.
line. Really nice collectibles, and I
Yes.
can't remember which one. Maybe I don't have the Michelangelo one. But yeah,
So we were covering Soda City Comic Con, and there were some Robotech figures out, the Robotech masterpiece figures, and they were like $200 to $300. And I was like, and Mike, and I'm a big Robotech fan. If you're new to the channel, again, that's Michael. I'm Leroy. We're here to talk nerdy shit with you. Um, and this is a great day to talk nerdy stuff because there's some stuff going on out there that, whoo, don't open Twitter.
oh
don't
man,
don't open Twitter. Don't turn on CNN or any other news site. Woo,
oh my work
come
phone has been
come
blowing up.
come here for safety. Baby Tashira, Robotech. That's right. So I'm a big Robotech fan. So Michael saw one of the vendors and you normally don't see a lot of Robotech, and when you do, it's iffy. Um, so Michael saw some Veritech fighters. He saw, and they were the masterpiece collection, which at the time were very. Um, they're still sought after, but they had been out for a little while, so they'd gone up in price. They've come down a little bit. So he saw him and he was trying to get me to buy them, and I was like, I was here, but we kept walking by, and then every time we kept walking by interviewing people, it was getting here to where I was there, and then I pivoted, I juked him, and we saw the. I want to say it was Michelangelo's was the first one you bought. Was it
No, no, I don't.
Michelangelo?
I feel like that's the one I'm missing. Honestly,
Who was the first one you bought? Because the one we
I don't know.
bought, whatever, that was the first one, and we saw the Good Smile. And don't get me wrong, they're amazing. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find some of them. They're amazing figures. Um, TMNT. Yep, here we go. Uh, and so Michael was messing with me, and I'm going to tell y'all right now. I was like, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I Jedi mind tricked him, but he ended up buying one of these, and he got hooked. And he did not complete the set. So right now, this is the one I just put in there is Leonardo, and they all fit together in a nice. If you scroll down to like the fourth or fifth picture, so yeah, he's missing one out of the. Excuse me. Excuse me. And yeah, it was yeah, it was one of those things where like he almost got me because he's gotten me before. Keep in mind, I probably still owe him 2 or 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches after gambling and losing. And this was like the one time I was able to Hadouken! Because he was, let me tell you, he was feeding for a while because he was hitting me up at the when I was working at a comic book store, and I was like, "Hey man," he was like, "You seen this yet?" In the previews catalog. So yeah, I feel bad sometimes that I got you because you can't complete the set. That's the only
I don't.
reason why I feel
I don't
bad.
think it's not that I can't complete the set. I'm just like that is extra because at this point it's no longer new. I mean, or it's
Yeah,
no longer just sold. So I would be paying a markup for it, which I'm not against doing. I'm just not going to do it yet.
yeah. That like that's the only way I feel. That's the only reason why I feel bad about it. Other than that, I feel great that I was able to to pivot. I
Hmm.
feel really good about that. But yeah. So my collecting, if you guys know, I'm a big comic nerd. Uh, I was dating a woman and I gave away a ton of comics thinking because she was like the childish yada yada yada, and
And you guys
I
aren't together anymore.
hell no.
There we go.
We were not good for each other. I have nothing bad to say about her. I would probably, if you ask her about our time together, I was toxic to the point where even my mom was like, "You two are not good for each other," and I was. She wasn't a great partner for me, and I was definitely not a great partner for her. And she did not care for my hobbies or the things that I loved. And so dating her, I felt bad about collecting. And I gave away all of my comics with the exception of maybe a few boxes. And I mean, those were some valuable comics I gave away too. And I got back into comics because that was my happy place. That going every Wednesday was, I'm a Wednesday warrior. And I have long boxes all over this house. Um, and I need to scale down. But I wasn't into action figure collecting. And Michael, hanging out with him, made me get back into it. And so, like I said, I'm into comics. I do have a Bitterroot. The grade isn't what I wanted it to be. I'm a little upset about that, but I don't plan to sell. I don't get into. I know people do get into the hobbies to make money, and I do hear the phrase "the hobby should fund itself." I do agree with part of that statement, Some like I do buy a couple of things to like sell to pay for the things that I bought. So there are a couple of these that I have that whenever Bitterroot does come out, I probably will, because I have a couple of these. But this is something that I have to hang on the wall. Like this is art for me. So but I got into action figure collecting, back into it, and the two that, where did they go? So I got back into it. Oh, here it is. And I only had two. So right before the pandemic, uh, and the only reason why I have it in this is because I just needed to put it up. This is the Hasbro. Actually, let me just do this. So this is the Hasbro Punisher. I was in Ollie's of all places looking for something, and Ollie's had two. Ollie's had a couple of Punisher, and they were $10. And normally the Marvel Legends are about $20 a pop. And I saw this. I saw a two pack. I saw two of them on the shelf. Well, actually, there were more than two. I just bought two, and I just loved the detail. And Punisher was one of my favorite characters that Garth Ennis did. His when he brought back Punisher under the Marvel Max line, I loved that series. I thought it was very good, modern take on the Punisher. So I bought this figure, and it was one of the ones um, that I bought. And I didn't buy anything for a long time. And after a while, I started buying more and more. And there was a reason behind every one that I bought, or action figures that I bought. And one of the things that I bought was that I never saw a lot of female action figures, and I never saw a lot of action figures of color growing up. Um, so that was kind of uh, where my taste went. Uh, Star Wars, GI Joe, um, and a couple other things like here and there, smattering action figures that I would get depending on the line. And then so there was like always, Katie would always ask me, why did I buy this one or that one, or what was the purpose? And some of it has to do with a physical representation of a comic that I read that I thought was very good, or a show that I read. Like I bought these two. So this is, I don't know if you guys can see. And I bought this because I thought the What If episode was amazing. I thought it was perfect. And I loved her character throughout the entire What If series. Um, and I was about to make a joke, but that's probably not a very good. I was going to say something about, I'm America first. And I was like, oh, that's probably not, let's not use that phrase here. So yeah, so like Spinneret. This was the first time I've ever saw Mary Jane as Spinneret in action figure form. So I picked up the 2-pack for that with Spider-Man. I'm not a real big Spider-Man guy, but I love the idea of Peter Parker actually getting the girl, because for so long in comics, he was the lovable loser whose life was always on fire. He never won. And in this comic, he did actually end up, and I like that idea of him actually being a family man and having kids, and so that's what started it. And most of the figures I buy I have gotten into some of it to flip, to sell. Like I buy one, or I maybe buy two, one for myself and one to sell. Like if it gets popular, I have done that in the past, and I have like traded in action figures or sold them at like, because I do believe the hobby should fund itself partially, but I don't get it for an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to hold on to this and sell it like a New Mutants 98. Nah. If I buy something, I bought it because I actually wanted it, because that's a physical representation of something that I love. I got a few of them over here that I could
Have you
show.
ever gotten anything that later became valuable?
Oh yeah, like where did Punisher
Because
go?
I'm thinking of so I was, a kid of the '90s or whatever. I like Pokemon. I like the original anime cartoon, and I
Hmm.
definitely have a couple of the original Pokemon cards. I don't know if
Hmm.
they're worth anything. I mean, they're in good condition because I keep all my stuff like that. But I wonder if any of them are worth anything. I've never actually looked to see, but I know the original line of Pokemon cards have become more valuable since people started rebuying them. I'm wondering if they're worth anything.
Oh yeah, there's a hold on. I'm on Marvel Legends. Where's the search? Here we go. And I'll put this in the chat once I find it. So that Punisher figure is one of them. It's a very popular Punisher figure. Uh, but let me see if I can. Oh, what did it? Uh, Hold on. Punisher. It's not exclusive.
As you're looking for stuff and you think about this, do you can you pinpoint like what is your favorite thing that your favorite one thing that you collected?
Um, I don't have a favorite. I
Okay.
do. Um, I'm trying to think. I do. There are some that are favorites. There are some because of how I got them or what they mean. So, like, I have a Miles Morales that's boxed up. Um, that I bought when Into the Spider Verse came out. I've never opened it. I probably will never open it. That one is worth a lot of money. That one is worth a not a lot of money, but it's not worth the $20 I paid for it. It's worth a lot more. Um, Matter of fact, I can show you. It's this one right here. Um, so this is actionfigure.com. So I have this Miles, and so it ranges price wise. It goes. So I paid $20 for it. Um, it ebbs and flows. I've seen it anywhere from $50 with $10 shipping, 60, 70. I remember it went all the way up to $100. The price has gone down. I bought it because it was Miles Morales, and I love that movie. Um, right now, one of my favorites, and it depends. Like um, this is the first time Sam Wilson, Captain America, with the wings is this is the first comic version of it with the
Hmm.
wings and the shield. Um, I remember when Sam Wilson became Captain America, when Steve lost the serum and he got old and he needed one, and it was like the silhouette was who will take the shield. It was like between Bucky, will it, and he gave the shield. So like if you remember in Endgame, that moment where he gave Sam the shield, that was a big moment for me because that was him handing the mantle to someone else, and it was a person of color. It was Sam Wilson, so that was a big deal. So I pre-ordered that because, again, it's a black Captain America.
Hmm.
like, so that was kind of a big deal for me. It just depends. Sometimes, like I said, that Punisher figure is a big deal to me because it was $10, and I love the. It was a physical representation of Garth Ennis's Punisher Max series, um, and or like this one I haven't opened yet, but this is Mafex's Storm, and uh, this is one of the best storms ever. This is like from the. This is based on the Jim Lee uh, Gold Team, or was she Blue Team? I think she was Blue Team. Um, this is based on that design where when everybody was like Angela Bassett should play Storm,
Hmm.
that I got that. That was on sale. It was like that was about I got it on sale. It was about $50. They normally retail for 100, and that's why I bought it. It was Storm is one of my favorite characters, so getting it at that price was a big deal. Um, Getting a Bishop, the first one of the first black male X-Men. This is a Mezco. I had some credit at Scratch and Spin, and so he had ordered this one, so I picked that one up. Like there's a reason behind most of the figures that I have, whether they are comics that I loved or a movie, or some of them I do buy because I do think eventually somebody's going to like there's a store here, LT's Collectibles. They have a action figure, or they have like a trade night where you bring in what you have and you can trade with other collectors, and y'all can like, oh, I'll give you this, and this for that. So it's kind of like that back in the day when you were kids and you would trade stuff with people, and your parents would get mad because you traded something that wasn't as expensive as what they paid for,
Hmm.
because that shit used to happen all the time.
Hmm.
And I was a dummy and did that stupid stuff. But like now you're older, you know the value of what you want, and so I do buy stuff for that trade night. Um,
Before you continue, I want to say my number one thing I can easily pinpoint what it is. It is well, it's two things, but it happened within the same Comic Con trip. I don't remember what year, but it was the same story where I was telling you guys about me spending the night in line to get the Green Ranger Dragon
Hmm.
Dagger. That same year, Jason David Frank was also signing autographs at Comic Con. So it was either Thursday or Friday. One of the days I got the dagger, and then the following day, it was very fortuitous because I had to stay in line both times. One time to get the dagger, and then I had to get in line again to get the opportunity to get him to sign it. And I'm gonna drop a link so you guys can see what the dagger looks like. Hopefully that'll let you just see what it looks like. But I was able to get the dagger. Then the next day I was able to meet him, get a photo with him, and he signed the box on it, which was really nice. But that's probably my biggest possession that I have, just getting
Oh,
that
that's
dagger
cool.
and getting it signed by Jason David Frank.
Yeah. Like for me, like I do books as well. My wife, we collect a lot of books, read a lot of books. I don't know if I've told this story, at least maybe not on this channel. We got married we didn't get married in the church. We got married in the Mercantile Library in downtown Cincinnati. We uh, didn't have a church home. My parents' church is basically the closest, but I didn't feel like getting married there. It just didn't want to do it. And we wanted to be in a place where her grandmother, who was a little elderly, could travel to. So we picked Cincinnati. We were going to go there. Um, and we were looking to do maybe an outside wedding, but we were like, well, what if it rains? Yada, yada, yada. And so she found this place. They had never done a wedding there before. And so we talked about it. And I think the original price was, if we did it like on a Friday or a Saturday, the price was $1,500. And then they were like, if you do it on a Thursday though, it's 500. And we were like, $500 it is.
$500 it
Because
is. Yeah.
because our thing says the 19th, our invitations, and it was actually the 18th. Um, um, so yeah, that's how much we enjoy reading. So I do collect comics and omnibus because I do want a library. That's like a lot of people are like, I want a man cave. Like I want a game room to where all the books are on the shelf, and my kids when they're old enough can pick up any book on that shelf and read. And I
Hmm.
want a reading nook. I want to just and I do want like I do have consoles, like you and I both have consoles, to where if there's a game they want to play, they can just pop it in and it'll be
Sure.
set up for them. Um, but yeah,
He signed the box, the outside box he signed.
um, so speak to the idea of some of the stuff that Wendy has around. Like, you don't have
So
to say
yeah,
why
I
she bought it, yeah, but just
well, I
like
mean, I
here's
can
some,
give an idea, and
yeah.
just is this gonna show up in my
It's key.
virtual
Now,
camera?
now, if you've been a fan of our last channel, remember he used to live with us at the
Yes,
station.
at the station. His name is Lamont. He's a big star
Lamont.
trooper. Lamont. Yep, she calls him Lamont. Why? I don't know. That's what she calls him. Um, but she, as we were, a little behind the scenes, as Leroy was talking about this, he was seeing if I could find some of her stuff, and I was like, I don't really know what I would find. But then as I looked around, I was like, oh, you know what? She does have a bunch of Star Wars stuff because she
Mhm.
has this stormtrooper. She has at least two different Millennium Falcon models. She
Wait, don't
has.
y'all? Didn't you guys buy the Lego one too?
So I bought the Lego Star Destroyer, like the super duper expensive Star Destroyer one from a couple years ago.
Hmm.
Still haven't put it together. It's just sitting in my room with some other stuff that I have of collectibles. Um, we might actually put that together because she's gotten into Legos recently, and we started putting some Legos together, like
Yeah, let me tell
British
you.
phone box, some flowers. She has a British bust that she bought that we're going to put together. So we may actually
Hmm.
put that together. But yeah, she has a bunch of different Star Wars stuff. And I think for her, I mean, I don't want to speak for her, but I could say like I know the reason like she likes Star Wars, like she likes the idea of the fantasy. It was something she grew up with, and I think she and her brother watched it a lot together, like the original movies and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, but that's one of her things.
Um, is there anything that could make you say, I'm selling my collection? Like, is there anything that would make you say, like, I'm done, I'm out? Um,
I mean, the only thing, I mean, if I needed money really badly and I think I could get some money for it, maybe.
yeah,
But thankfully, I'm not in that situation. Um, I think I told y'all it must have been last week, right? When I was talking about my bathrooms and stuff. Like
yeah.
it seems like Allstate. I mean, I don't work for Allstate, but I'll give them a plug. It seems like I just got to pay a deductible, a small
Mhm.
deductible, and they're going to repair all the stuff. So I'm like, great, fantastic. So yeah,
Yay!
so that was a lot of money that I don't have to come out of pocket for. So that's nice. But yeah, like if I really needed money, maybe I would sell my stuff. But like I said, I'm not in that situation.
Okay.
And again, like I feel like the biggest thing that I could sell is probably that Dragon Dagger because I don't remember what the original price of it was at Comic Con. For some reason, I want to say $500. I don't think I would have spent $500, but also I might have spent $500. I don't know. I feel like it was cheaper. I say all that to say I'm sure it's more expensive now, but
Hmm.
because it was autographed to me personally, I don't even know if it would. I don't know if anybody would necessarily want the box because it's got my name on it when he
True.
signed it. I don't know. Like the
I
dagger
mean,
itself is in perfect
I mean,
condition, but
somebody probably would still probably pony up
I just
for it. I
I
would
can find
think.
another mic to sell it to. Yeah. Um, but yeah. I think another reason why I keep stuff is when I was younger, when I didn't have money and I would rely on my parents to buy video games for me, and GameStop was kind of new, up and coming. The whole idea of trading in games to get other games was like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, you trade in 2 or 3 games and you get one game. I'm like, this is great. I can play new things. Not realizing, why am I trading in 3 games for one game? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I look
Yeah.
back on that now, it's like, man, I traded in so many games that I should have kept. And I
Yep.
think I originally, eventually ended up buying up some of those games that I did. Like, I don't know if you ever played the game Cybernator for Super Nintendo.
No.
It was a mech game. It wasn't even that great a game, but for some reason I traded it in because I didn't think that much of it. But 10, 15 years later, it's like I kind of want this game because it was in my collection. So I know I paid more for it the second time I bought it than when I got it the first time. But I
Hmm.
just wanted it because I had it before. I think that's another reason why I don't really want to sell things in my collectibles because I'm like, I'm losing money on the deal. I might miss it and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that like I bought that I'm like I wouldn't mind part with. Like if I there's certain things that I bought that are personal to me. Like I did buy. Uh, Hold on, let me close this out. And I gotta. So I bought this
I just want to
because
give a shout out to Kay, who says she's retired. She's living and enjoying her life with her wife. Fantastic.
yeah,
I want to get to that point to be retired and living comfortably.
hell yeah, I just want to live comfortably.
Right.
I'll still go to work every now and then. So I did buy this one. I'm a big GI Joe fan. I remember watching the GI Joe movie, rereading. I'm reading the GI Joe comics. I did not get on the Kickstarter because that was expensive, and but I did get this because I was in the Navy and I knew I couldn't be an EOD specialist, but it was like cool to think that I could have been one because I was a good swimmer, but I was not physically able to do this. But it was so cool to see them put together a black dude. So you got the head black guy and a white guy, and that's so cool now to see action figures now being people of color, doing different ethnicities. I got the original Angel. Um, I like Marvel Legends because Marvel is my bread and butter. There are a bunch of McFarlane figures around here, but they're boxed up in the attic, and some of them I know eventually. And so here's the thing: there's only a few action figures. Like if my son got a hold of them, uh, I'd be mad. So like there's a Paz Vizsla. Michael, you know that's my from Evan had been playing with it, and I'm like, cool, all right. There's I'm not really big on the whole like there's mint inbox collectors and there's people who take them out. I keep them in the box just in case I gotta sell some stuff. Because I remember when we had Evan uh, and when we had Owen, you have to get rid of some of your stuff to make room for all the stuff you get for the baby. So there was a time where I took a ton of stuff to scratch and spin when Evan was born. And then when Owen was born,
Hmm.
I had an office. We had an office. I had like bookshelves. I mean, you remember, and I had to get rid of. I had to either put it up or get rid of it. and I got rid of a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so I do keep the boxes and keep them in boxes until I'm able to display it for that reason. If I got to pack it up and move it. Um, but I'm not really one of those people. Like I said, there's a handful of figures that I'm like, I will not open this. I want this is art. I will display it. Um, as you can hear, he's
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So that's my little pocket monster. Um,
Which one is that?
oh, that's the oldest. The
Okay.
youngest is out. Yeah,
Okay.
he went down an hour ago, like 2 hours ago, and was like
Okay.
down. Now that one, that's a no limit soldier when it comes to bedtime. Domestic terrorist. He does not negotiate. Uh, but no, so talk a little bit about what you think, why people collect. Now, like we've talked about why you collect, but why do
Sure.
other and the stigma that we experience as nerdy collectors versus like sports memorabilia. Because I want to say Kim from Chicago put up there, people buy dusty old paintings all the time and nobody bats an eye.
Sure. I think the thing is, as we talk about this, and in the chat, people in chat, tell us about your collections. And you all have been doing a good job, but continue to tell us about your collections and why you collect what you collect. But as you all do that, I think for some people it is just a comfort to know that maybe it was something in their childhood that they really wanted. Maybe they couldn't afford it, and now they can, so they go back and get it. I think
Mhm.
it's just a thing for some people. People, it is bragging rights to be like, oh, I have this and you don't. Like, who was the guy that got the Wu Tang album that nobody did and
Scarelli, Martin
yeah,
Scarelli.
who's in jail now or something, right?
He's out now,
He's out now, but he went to
but
jail.
he's still whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Not
but
a
some
he's
people
still not a nice
not a,
person.
not a, not a, not a nice person. Some people like to stun on people and be like, I can have this and you don't. But I think for people who are truly passionate about it, and as I go back to think about my times in San Diego, meeting people across the country and across the world in lines for different things, and we were just talking about different fandoms and stuff. I think the thing that kind of bonded us all is just having a love for something and kind of showing it to somebody else, because a lot of times you can find new fandoms by meeting people who collect different things. Um, Slightly off tangent, but I didn't know about the CW show Supernatural until maybe season 5 or 6, and I
Mhm.
just happened to learn about it when I was out in the San Diego Comic Con line overnight, talking with other people about what they like, and somebody brought up Supernatural, and I
Mhm.
happened to be in a Hall H line, so I got in the line for Hall H, and sat to the panels and watched Supernatural, and I became a fan of Supernatural. Um, but again, slight tangent, but going back to it, I think it's just having the idea of things that make you feel complete. Sometimes it might be a thing of security and safety, almost like a security blanket. Like, oh, these things complete me. They mean something to me. They're keepsakes. Um, and I think the stigma, it really is in the eye of the beholder, because granted, it used to be really bad. I think it's gotten better in terms of collecting.
Mhm.
With the whole idea of people doing the baseball cards and Pokemon cards and everything, I think collecting overall has gotten better. So people are more inclined to not downplay somebody who collects nerd stuff.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's just what you value and what matters to you, I think.
Yeah. I want to get to some of these comments in a minute. I do agree with Ken where he says uh, there is a stigma because it those things are considered high art, and we have accepted certain things. So like sports memorabilia is attached to sports, which to a lot of people is a the competition, but also sports for a lot of people is tied into masculinity. Um, that that is changing with more and more people appreciating women's sports, but sports has been tied to masculinity and rooting for a particular team. That it's I'm a Boston fan, so that idea of wearing and representing your particular region or fandom was accepted. I think art, because we have been spent so many decades, even hundreds of years to a certain extent, that this is the acceptable type of art. And so when you get a little bit of money, the nouveau rich, to seem a part of that class would buy stuff that other people who influence them to buy. And as we're seeing more and more people get money or become successful, they're buying the things, like you said, from their childhood, the things that they love. So they're not buying a Rembrandt. They're not buying a Monet. They're buying, oh, I liked Pokemon. So guess what? I'm going to buy Pokemon stuff. Or I was a fan of this. Um, I think that is a very good thing that we don't have to be pigeonholed into this. You have to buy this, and this is what is acceptable. But I also do think a lot of what is acceptable in collecting has to do with either our these uh, silos that we put things in. Whereas and it's the same thing that we deal with when it comes to animation or graphic novels and comics, that these are things for children. So why are you playing or having these things? I had to explain to someone at work recently what a Funko Pop is.
Interesting.
And
This is
so,
an older person.
no, this is a person who's 37 years old.
Wow.
And so, like,
And they never heard of a Funko Pop.
so backstory. Oh, it's not here. It's at work. Katie, for Father's Day, got me a Funko of myself,
Oh,
and and
so it's a
so
bald dude
it's
with glasses.
boom, and a beard and a
Okay.
flannel shirt. So
Okay.
yeah, he honestly looks better than me too. Uh, so she got that for me. So it was sitting on my desk, and the guy walked by, and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "He's like, oh, that's you." And I was like, "Yeah, probably a cuter version of me." And he was like, "Oh, it's like where did you get this?" And I was like, "Dude, it's a Funko Pop." And I was like, "They make them. You can." And so like he didn't know what they were.
Hmm.
So like I had to explain what Funko Pop is, and then explain you can get one of yourself. And so he was very interested. He like wrote it down. I was like, because he's in the NASCAR, and so
Oh, I'm
he,
sure they got NASCARs
oh, they do,
of Funko Pops and NASCAR racers.
and
Yeah.
they do. And so like getting him to understand, and he did understand. So like he's like bigger in the NASCAR, and I think his brother-in-law is big into like construction and stuff. So like he has like the Hess trucks and different things like that. Um, he and I don't want to say we bonded over it, but we had a very good conversation. And I think that was one of the things that I think I want our channel to be. Everybody is nerdy about something. Let's talk about it. For us, we've been very explicit about what we're nerdy about. We've never hidden that we are nerds. Hell, our old channel was called the News 19 Nerds because that fit what we were doing. Um, and I think on a roundabout way to bring it back to the beginning, I never want to be ashamed of what I love or what I
Oh,
do
sure.
ever again. And I think that's what this channel is so personal for me. And I want it to grow so that other people can come when the world is literally on fire, like it is today. They can escape that madness and come here. And that's why I've always tried to not be, especially now, and not be that negative person that you see on some of these channels. I think it was Breck Warren was asking about Acolyte. Is it good? I like it. There's some issues. We'll review it. I have some of the characters' motivations I don't understand or particularly like, but I do think the show is good. I think the fifth episode. Yeah, he got to stay in that room, so he's mad now. Um, uh, I think the fifth episode, is it the fifth episode? Has some of the best lightsaber battles. And I probably said this before, but I never want anybody to be ashamed of what they love and enjoy it, regardless of what it is. There are people who birdwatch and they collect, or people who collect stamps, butterflies, coins, trains. I don't care. Love what you love, man. Like, and that goes with people. Love who you love within reason. Got to put that
I was
out
about to
there.
say because some, yeah,
Yeah, you know,
as long as people can give their consent
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
of adult age.
Dr. Disrespect. I had to explain that to my wife the other day too. So, but yeah, I think
Kay, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm just looking at some of the stuff Kay was talking
yeah,
about, how her liking sci-fi stuff and people just assuming she couldn't like sci-fi stuff. That sucks.
and here's the thing, and especially for women and women of color, like I know what I went through to like this stuff. I couldn't imagine with women of color, and just women and women of color had to go through, because you remember Grace, friend of the channel,
Hmm.
um, which she told me what she went through when she liked anime. People were calling her out like, "You don't really like it. You're just doing this for clicks." And I'm not saying people don't, but she had a genuine love of anime. Herbert Thornton, what's up? She had a genuine love of anime, and so I don't like for anyone to deal with that. And there are gatekeepers in our culture, and I think that's one of the things we're seeing right now with Gladiator 2, the trailer, and people coming for Denzel. Like, do y'all not think there were black people back then during that time period? Like, did you like? And I think that's one of the things that I think is cool about action figure collecting and some of the sci-fi stuff that I'm into, because we're getting to see ourselves
Hmm.
in these things. Real quick, I'll show. Um, and I've been very intentional about buying like female action figures. So this is Mythic Legions. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is Thrace. Um, uh, I bought this when I went to Heroes Con. One of the best women face sculpting that I've seen. Um, so I like, my thing is, if you can believe that there's another, this is Cosmic Legions. I bought that. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that is showing up. And I do want to get to a point where I'm getting the equipment where I can review some of this stuff. But I'm like this. If you can believe in characters and creatures like this,
Oh, sorry. I'm
yeah.
literally. I happen to. So the link that I put in was
Mm-hmm.
for a eBay listing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's gonna sell, but apparently somebody's trying to sell this thing for $3,400.
Hey, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
That's
like
wild.
so Katie has sold a lot of my stuff that I've
Hmm.
bought, and she enjoys it. And there's some stuff that I bought that I'm like, okay, I bought this back in the day, and I don't really need it right now. There's a couple of magazines that I collected. They were very artsy. Um, some of it was smut. I'll admit it was high end smut, but it was nice smut.
Smut.
And
It was nice
and
smut.
and Katie was like, and I showed her one day, and she was like, I think one of them was it's called Treats magazine. I bought the first two issues, and I didn't realize what it was, but it was like the art was just very good, and I was like, okay, cool, this is cool. And I looked online one day, just looking, and I was like, they want $400 for this magazine, and I said, Katie, here you go. She put that bitch on eBay, and
Hmm.
she sold two of them. But yeah, I am very intentional about buying certain figures. Like I said, I don't know if you've noticed, I have a lot of female action figures, but there is a reason like why I would buy, like, so like right here. I did not pay full price for a lot of this stuff too. So
Hmm.
I want to be very clear. Some stuff I paid full price for. This, like this right here, I bought this because I had this original action figure back in the day, and I was in Target. It was on sale for like $12, and this is usually 40. Um, I bought Scrap Iron because it was on sale. Another one on sale, and he was in the last Duke comic. Transformers and GI Joe are in the same universe. It's called the Energon universe, and Duke had a limited series, and Cobra Commander had a limited series. If you used to watch the original GI Joe, you will appreciate the series, um, because they do bring in Herbert Thornton. You're right. Black people used to shame you for a lot of that stuff. Some of them still do, but I really am happy for the generation of black kids who get to be nerdy. And even I have to check myself, and I'm like, hey man, you in public? I'm like, you know what? Have fun. Um, so I bought Scrap Iron because he is in the actual Duke comic that I love. Duke is really good, and I bought it for that. Like I bought Scrap Iron. I haven't even opened it yet. I may keep it. I may trade it, but I it was on sale, and I'm just loving that GI Joe shared universe with Transformers, and seeing Duke realize Starscream is a real thing is just like mind blowing. I love it. Um, So yeah, that's why I buy some of this stuff, and I think people should be allowed to love what they love and who they love. Um, so let's get to some of these comments. I do want to make sure we highlight some of the people who are here, and we appreciate you being here. Um, uh, Kay brings up a very good point that gatekeeping is always something that pissed me off. Getting into sci-fi comments, so young guys would either hit on me or ask if I was there. I mean, we talked about that. That sucks, and especially because I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of these women who are in this genre, like Jenny Frizen, her art is amazing. Tula Latoy, I don't know if anybody could make a woman as beautiful as Tula Latoy makes women. Like her art is just amazing. So I feel you on that. Ken says Gen X being at the reins of society for 20 years normalized a lot of geek culture to make it more mainstream. Also, the NCU making a metric ton of cash. Also, yes, yeah. I never was a big fan of the Big Bang Theory because I felt like it kept the trope going.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like we are vast and what we love and who and how we express it, and I thought that just kept that trope going. I was not a fan of that. Um, what's some more, Michael, that you see in there?
I mean, we
Uh,
kind of been saying them as we've been talking about throughout the chat.
mhm.
So nothing in them necessarily sticks out to me. The ones I talked about before, like the stuff Kay had talked about, but I brought it up before. So I don't necessarily have anything new now. I'm just happy that people were able to kind of express their opinions. Um,
Yeah,
and granted, we are a small channel, but mighty channel. But I do like, as we talk about not being negative, I do like the fact that we don't know everybody's life experiences that come into our channel, but I feel like we're pretty open that people can talk about whatever and have an
yeah,
open dialogue about stuff, which is nice.
yeah. Yeah, I think Trekkie was first and referred to Star Trek groupie. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Star Trek basically kicked off the whole convention idea of here in North America. The idea that Trekkies basically got the conventions going, where people were who supported Star Trek and loved it. That idea caught on. That's something. And then, do you remember me when we did that? Me, you, and my brother, we did that podcast where she talks about conventions. I wish I could find it because I thought that was a very good conversation about conventions.
Hmm.
Uh, but we've been going for about an hour. Anything you want to add? I know
No,
there's something that we. I know there's stuff that we're missing. Mm,
I mean
but
missing in terms of what?
oh, just the conversation about about collecting and why we collect. So
Well, I never look at our chats as being the end all be all encompassing, right? I think they're just a moose boosh of stuff to talk about.
oh, very good.
Yeah, so I don't feel like we have to cover everything. Well, we just talk about random stuff, and people seem to gravitate toward it, which is cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we are wrapping up. I do want to get off of here because I need to finish The Beekeeper. You said you already watched it, right?
Yes,
The Bee Man, that movie is
it's so bad it's good.
yes, it is so dumb, but also at the same time, it knows exactly
Yes,
what it is, and I am loving it.
yes, it is like
Jason Statham is like, why are you? It doesn't matter. I'm Jason Statham. I'm gonna wreck shop, and just that's what this world is, and it's great. It is
and
fantastic.
the other part of it is, and I think what really makes the movie so good is everybody is so terrible. You don't feel bad for the stuff that happens to them.
Yeah,
The beekeeper,
these are some
Kay,
bad
it's
people.
the beekeeper. Like the call center people. I'm like shoot all of them. Like I'd like I have no sympathy for any of them.
There are definitely times in this movie where Jason Statham will take out a group of people, and there will be collateral people on the side, and the things that he does kills the bad guys, but it probably also killed these collateral people at the same time. Like, I don't know that you told these people to. I guess you don't. They're in the way. Oh well, it's fine.
I do, but here's the thing: I do feel like most of the times he's in a situation, he is actually trying to limp the like that scene where he walks into the group of people and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this thing
Hmm.
y'all should probably leave.
Yeah.
And they're looking at him like a crazy person. I'm gonna be honest with you. If a person comes to my job with
Hmm.
2 gas cans
Yeah. It's
and
like,
is
nah,
telling
I'm out.
me I'm going to burn this place down,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a rational conversation with this man
That's
because
true.
he's not rational. I'm going to exit stage left.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
So I don't feel sorry for them. The only people I feel sorry for was like the gas station somewhat, but there didn't seem to be a lot of collateral damage there. The gas station blew up, but I felt like they got away.
I
Um,
don't know. There were a lot of cars that were not his car. So clearly those are people that were just trying to get gas.
True, but I
I hope
feel
they got
like
away. I don't
here's the
know.
thing: when those bullets started flying, I felt like if you didn't leave,
Uh-huh.
that's on you.
That's on you. Okay,
That's
cool.
on you. Like because I don't know about you, I'm not a looky loo. when
Hmm.
when traffic stops and like people are driving slow so they can look, I'm not trying to look because I don't want to see something I can't get out of my head.
Fair
Um,
enough.
so yeah, Beekeeper was wild. I'm gonna watch Monkey Man tonight.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a fun movie.
uh, hey, Kim from Chicago, they can take that. They can dock my pay because I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna be. I told them at my last job, I said I'll be damned if I die at work. I
Hmm.
will walk outside the building to die outside before I die here on the premises. I don't love work that much.
Hmm.
Um, so before we go, we will do an Acolyte review. We will get to the Brave New World Captain America trailer reaction. And I'm right now putting up the poll for what we should play for the bet. So I got Boggle, Scrabble, and Rummy up. You guys pick which one we play, and we'll play. I will post a picture of the actual score of whatever it is that we play. So yeah, what got you through the week, man? Because you gonna need something next week.
Oh man, honestly, I'm I don't even want to talk about news because I know it's going to be wild. But based on the fact that I didn't work this weekend, I'm glad I wasn't the manager on call because I'm
Ooh,
just going through my
good.
work phone, seeing all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I feel bad. I feel bad for our manager on call just because all the stuff she's going through right now. Because hopefully she didn't come into the station, but I don't know. But I feel like a lot of it will be figured out by the weekend, so Monday it'll be cool. But
Hmm.
for me, getting me through the week, I'm back on that wrestling grind. This
Hmm.
is a wrestling shirt. We the ones. You can see the whole shirt
Yeah.
for the bloodline. Or actually, I was told this shirt doesn't represent the bloodline. Long story, whatever. Anyway, I'm putting on my ones. I'm representing for where's it at? I'm representing for Roman Reigns. I acknowledge him. They just had a pay-per-view last week, Money in the Bank. It was great. And we talked about this last week a little bit. Baker scripted, call it what you want. This stuff looks wild. They had this
Hmm.
crazy 6 woman ladder match. I I don't know how those women are still walking the stuff they were doing. It was crazy. That got me through the week. I'm still playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor through Game Pass. I don't know how much more of it I have to do. I think I'm almost at the end, and I could go back and do collectible stuff. And then I'm trying to think of any TV or movie stuff. Probably the Beekeeper and wrestling. That's what got me through the week.
Okay.
You?
I've been watching The Boys and Acolyte. Uh, this week wasn't hard, but like a lot of this political stuff has been really like it's been filling up my timeline, and I'm trying to stay away from it. So I've been watching honestly a lot of reruns of um, Rick and Morty. I'm enjoying Acolyte. I'm really enjoying The Boys, even though I probably texted you. I was like, this shit is too on point. Like we've
Hmm.
talked about this before, how the Boys mirrors what we are dealing with, and I don't know how they do it, but they do a good job of like capturing this what's going on in the world in this
Hmm.
show. And I'm like, do you people like you're using the ability to see the future and this is what you're doing with it?
Hmm.
So it's a very good show. I think the last episode is this week. And then that'll be done. Are you watching it?
The boys. I haven't watched any of season 4 yet.
And Kim from Chicago, that's what's wild. The Boys was filmed over a year ago, and it's you would have thought they filmed it last week. That's how good it is. So me and Katie are trying to decide what to a show we can watch together. Um, so we're trying to figure out like
I
I
told you,
did.
man, y'all should watch 911.
No, we're not doing that.
That show
Um,
is fantastic.
nope, not doing that. Uh, so I may get her to watch. The old man is coming back in September.
That's a good
Um,
one.
so who's old girl from Mad Men who's in that spy show, The Veil? Um,
I don't know what the veil is.
it's yeah, it's the the secretary, not the redhead. Um,
Oh,
she's like a real good, critically acclaimed actress.
Elizabeth
But
Moss.
yeah, yes, she's in this new spy show called The Veil. It's on Hulu. So we're trying to decide like what should we watch. We haven't gotten into The Bear, so we may do that or Ted Lasso. Something. I'm trying to decide what like a show we can watch. Uh, so yeah, that's about it. And I'm trying to track down. Oh, I didn't even get into like the hunt of like collecting. Oh man, I totally bombed on that. Like the idea of like hunting down stuff you're looking for. So like, if you're into action figures, uh, people check out Ollie's, like your discount stores, because a lot of stuff that didn't sell in the store will make its way to like Ollie's, Roses, Menards, depending on where you're from. Um, what's another store? But yeah, Ollie's has a bunch of stuff that's coming in from this last Marvel Legends line. So like the X-Men 3 pack from X-Men 275 is going to end up there. The Joe Fixit deluxe figures, the What If Wave, Quantum Mania, all that stuff has ended up there because I've been going to Ollie's just about almost every other day to see if that stuff has come in because those 3 packs are about $75 a pop and they're like $15 at Ollie's. They had the Black Panther Hasbro helmets, $30. So yeah, like and that stuff, normally is 100 to $150. So yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah,
So guys, vote for what you want Katie to lose at because I ain't wearing that shirt.
man, fantastic. Folks, that'll be it for us. We will
Mm.
maybe we what is this? 2 weeks in a row we were live.
Yeah, I
Yeah, maybe
probably
we'll be
won't be.
back.
I
Oh, never mind.
don't.
Go ahead.
I don't know because I have a work trip. We're
Yeah.
supposed to be shooting in Kentucky next week, and I think we're leaving on a Saturday, so I may be able to do something. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, fair enough. I have
I
a
just
surprise birthday party I got to do on Saturday
okay,
afternoon, so I don't know.
okay, yeah,
That's cool. We'll figure something out. We'll either be
all
live or
right,
we'll tape something.
all right.
All right. Later, folks. We all see us
Hey, be
sometime in the
safe.
future. Be safe indeed. Peace.
Find your joy somewhere.